Hey guys, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. My name is DFree, and whoa, doesn't bro got a whole ass family and wife and all that stuff? Get that off my screen. Oh no! What's up? So today we're going to be doing a community response to the new PvP system. So I want you guys to post your thoughts on it down below if you didn't get the chance to react to this. Every now and again I go ahead and I do this on Twitter too, so follow on Twitter if you want to. Every now and again I drop these little nuggets where you guys can react and respond and become a part of these upcoming video discussions that we're going to do. And today's all about that PvP mode. So if you didn't see my gameplay video to check it out, I was pretty anxious in it. I didn't play great. Actually, I had one game where I played really good. Anyway, check it out. Link will be down below in the description, along with other links like Twitch, where we are streaming, like you just saw Honkai Star Rail there. I have a burning itch to play it at all times. We're streaming a bunch of stuff on Twitch. And we are also streaming that game the other day, Dragon Ball Legends, and I kind of have my, like I said, reaction to it. So to answer my own question, which I say, what are your thoughts on the new PvP mode? And I say I'm going to do a community reaction video. Hi. My initial thoughts are that I think there's multiple ways to play that mode. What the design choice is that they want you to build a team of 6 characters. I did a team building video. Didn't get as much love as I would have liked, but I'm not mad at it. And I came to the realization live in that video was that it was like, it's actually kind of hard to build a good team with 6 good cohesive characters. And then from my standpoint, where I wanted to show multiple teams, it's hard to do that 3, 4, 5 times where it's like, what are we gonna run? Because you gotta consider meta, all these other things, and it's like, oh, well, you bring 3 characters in the first match and 3 in the other one, things like that. So there's one way to do it where you're doing that, and that, like I said, it can be kind of hard. Maybe you wind up bringing some older characters or some lackluster characters that aren't that great anymore because power creep, etc. You name it, right? There's another way where you go all in on matches 1 and 3. And so I saw people trying to do this in the video where they're stacking their first team. And this strategy only works if you win the first game. Well, unless you're me in my stream where I lost the second game. Did not have. But I totally got good. I should not have. That's a match where I was good enough to win, but I just did not have it. Anyway, kind of embarrassing, but whatever. So the strategy is that you go all in on match 1, right? You put 4 really good characters on your team. And so what happens is you go all in on match 1, you win that first game, you lose the second game, and most likely, unless you're me, like I said, and then for the third game, you could choose characters from either team. And so you win matches 1 and 3 ultimately, and you're good. So there's that. I mean, like I said, the design choices, they want you to try to use all 6 characters. People are already finding ways to circumvent the system, but overall, though, I think conceptually that's a cool idea, trying to make people use other characters. Most people have only ever really done the thing where they use 3 and they kind of, stick to those 3 because they'll put bench buffers, Zenkai buffers, ability buffers on their team in the remaining 3 slots, which is also what you should be doing if you're trying to do that second method where you go 4 strong characters, 2 buffers on the team. Anyway, but I thought that conceptually was kind of cool because it's like, okay, well, I want to have as much fun as possible with all the characters. Now, there are flaws in the system. First and foremost, I don't think that it should have took over for PvP for the week or for the couple of weeks or whatever for this season. They should have just ran it side by side. Now, I imagine the reason why they didn't is because they didn't want to have another ranking event running at the same time, but screw that, right? I don't care. It created an environment where if you just want to have if you have the urge to play PvP, and you just want to get a quick game in, and you don't want to lose, by the way, because there's a caveat to that, you probably are just going to play Treasure Battle or something, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Treasure Battle has a couple of rewards, I guess, but you know what I'm saying? You're not really getting the ranking reward out of it. Now, the caveat is that, again, if you lose the first game, you can leave, right? That's why I said you have to win the first game with the other setup because you don't really have any options, really. Well, if you lose the first game with your good team and you're doing that gimmick, you just leave. There's no point in playing the second game because you're probably losing that one too. Anyway, but the thing is, I thought it was kind of interesting because when you sign up for one of these matches, you are sitting there for most likely a 15 to 20 minute commitment fighting this one person. It's really funny because I had always heard people say they wish there was a rematch button in Dragon Ball Legends. We don't have a designated button like if you go to your match history, But we kind of have that, because how often can you play against the same person consecutively? Never, unless you're like incredibly lucky or there's nobody playing when you're playing, you know, it's got to be crazy luck. So I had always heard people say that, and then now I'm hearing people saying they don't like it. So it's kind of weird. So like I said, but the time commitment, and also I think they did interesting things. What they did also was they reduced the timer counts for team selection. It actually matters a lot, because in my stream, honestly, I'm going through, I'm looking at the team, and you can see their equipments, which is cool. Shout out to everybody that have been rocking godly equips, like me sometimes every now and again. But we're not actually equipped, they were just flexing, right? Anyway, but like, I didn't even have time to think about it, because it's like 20 seconds, and I'm like, this is not enough time to think about what they got, what I want to bring. And then you have the added layer of, oh, it's not just who is their best three, it's who is the three they're going to bring into this fight, and who are they going to save for the next fight. So they made that go really fast. The matches are, I think, start at 120 counts instead of 180, and that matters a lot. That matters a lot, because characters like Goku and Frieza, or characters with Endurance or Revive, those characters have insane value in that. Because or characters like Jiren or whatever, characters that deter the opponent from rising rushing, or have mechanics that can keep the battle prolonged, are insanely strong, because the match will just go to timer. I had like 3 matches go to timer out of like 4 sessions that I did yesterday. It was pretty crazy, and matches just go to timer because they cut it by a third. And it's still a 15-minute commitment. So it is what it is. Let's get into it. So all in all, to summarize, it's very different. I like it conceptually. I don't know that this was the best execution of it. And I also think, by the way, that it's going to create an environment where, like I said, people are not really wanting to play, which is kind of weird. You don't want to have that kind of environment because of all the things that I mentioned. People aren't able to go in and use their favorite character Dude, it doesn't even make any sense to say, we want you to play X number of PvP games, but here's the catch. You can't use your favorite character in half those matches. That doesn't even make any sense. So it's weird. I thought what they were gonna do, and maybe they in the future do this, I thought they were gonna do a system when I saw it where it's like your opponent chooses your 3. That could be much more toxic, by the way, but I thought that was what we were in for. All right, let's see the community responses, and we'll get out of here. If you guys haven't already, be sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Also, if you want to help me out, scan that QR code, download Marvel Strike Force. That is a game that I've played just as much as Dragon Ball Legends, but I haven't uploaded as much content on it, obviously. My favorite game to play, actually, is Marvel Strike Force. You can scan that QR code, give it a shot, and if you hit levels 5 or 20, do help me out a ton. But act fast, because we only have a few days left on that current campaign for that sponsorship. And also, I will be going live on that game a couple more times over the course of the next week, and I'll be giving you guys some tips, so tune in for that. And if you have any questions, you guys can ask me. I'll also most likely be creating a guild. You guys can join as well. Hopefully the music hasn't been too loud. All right, so don't really like it. 2 to 3 matches to get a win is very annoying, because sometimes I just want to play one game before I go back to work or sleep, or just in general. See, that's kind of what I was saying. If you've got that itch to just play a quick PvP match, it always sucked whenever I would have that itch and I would get matches with like regen or something that I know is going to take the entire timer count. That sucks, because it's a 10-minute commitment just for that one fight, and it's stressful. It's a stressful 10 minutes. So that's part of the reason why I was anxious in the stream, is I was like, I don't really know what to expect. But yeah, if you want to just get in, get out type deal, you have to hit training battle or treasure battle or whatever. Or I guess hit up a friend, I guess, but that doesn't sound feasible. I like the idea of running it back with your opponent, and I think the option to quit is fair and honest. I think that option, by the way, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, the winning player can't choose to win one and leave. They have to play a second game. If you win that first game, you have to play a second game. Well, unless the opponent chooses to leave. The loser gets to choose to leave. So I don't know about that. I think it would have been fair, but I think the reason why is because they didn't want people farming RP that way, because you would win one game and then dip, right? So I think that's why. I don't know the RP breakdown. Can anybody let me know for like how much you win? I didn't pay any attention to that. Not everyone is going to want a rematch. Besides, for the most part, people will more than likely rematch you. It also gets you to use your whole team effectively. So overall, I think it's a nice mode. Very good, I think, very reasonable response there. I like the idea of making you use your whole team. I saw some people complaining about that, but I don't really see much of a problem. The more characters that you can play with, the better. I like that. The only problem I see is where you can't use certain characters for half the time. Match 1, you bring them, and then they're locked. They can't be used. Match 2, I didn't like that. Why? Just why? Okay. Not a fan. Should have been 2 separate modes. I talked about that. This might be the first PvP season I generally just skip the whole. Best 2 out of 3 matches. Takes too long for me to be engaged. They keep doing these changes that nobody asked for. Well, you've got to understand that they're trying to find a way to spice things. And most of the changes are exclusive to Legends Battle Royale, which is why it's so weird that this isn't something separate like a Legends Battle Royale. But like I said, that's probably why, because they didn't want to have it run for a few days, and they wanted it to be out for a couple of weeks. They also wanted to give some reward for it, an incentive for it. So I guess that's just why, right? Better rewards, I guess. So if you didn't watch this video, Green Zenkai Showcase, I did not. I don't really watch anybody's Dragon Ball Legends videos. It's not anything against anybody. I just don't have time to watch Dragon Ball Legends. What I typically watch is content I don't have to literally watch. Why? Because I am an active person. I'm out at the gym sometimes twice a day. I've got my family. I have to spend time with kids. I don't really have much time to actually do something. So most of the time, everything, like, this is the type of video where it kind of is okay. Unless it's a discussion Dragon Ball Legends video, I just can't. I can't sit there and watch it. So no, I don't. And he's saying to bring 4 good units and 2 bench buffers thing. Yeah, I already kind of talked about that. It sounds pretty smart and more time effective, but it all goes to crap if you lose match 1 with your best trio. Yeah. So that's kind of exactly what I was talking about, the strategy where you don't take 6 actual characters you're hoping to use, just like 3 or 4. Most notably 4, because you want to have a good character on that second team, because that third game, they don't let you just use the same 3 from the first match. They're going to make you choose at least 1 character from the second match. Way more fun than regular PvP. Also gives me a free-to-play better chance of beating pay-to-win meta users. That's interesting, because I saw people saying the opposite. I guess it just depends on perspective. I can see both sides of the coin. How do you feel? The matches are also way more intense, with the timer count being shorter and getting a chance to use your entire team while rematching. Only downside is having to fight laggy people overseas multiple times, but that's more of a Legends problem, which years already. The reason why it's been going on for years already is because it's not a Legends problem, it's a player problem. But I do get your point. There's not really a way for them to fix that with their current, everything that as it currently is, unless they're going to do some crazy changes to their infrastructure of the game. They can't fix that. It's a player thing. That it depends on your own connection. That's why when it starts lagging for you versus when it lags for other players, it shows different messages. You're the cause of it, it says different. At least I haven't been the cause of lagging for it. At least if I remember correctly, I can't tell you. It's always the opponent for me. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that was the case. But nonetheless, everything else I said was factual. The mode seems like a good idea and can be fun, however, forcing it on us like they have is an easy way to make the players feel negatively towards the mode. Rather, they should have heavily incentivized the mode to make it more appealing to play, i.e. more crystals, higher rewards, etc. It also rewards those who have more consistent skill levels. Yeah, that's fair. Because, you're taking, the only, good thing, I guess, is you're taking the best characters away from certain people so they're not getting hard carried by them. Which is fair. You might lose the first match, but if it's just an off match, but it gives you a chance to play better and come back and win in rounds 2 and 3. Not perfect, and hopefully won't replace standard ranked after the season. Their statements thus far make the current replacing of ranked seem temporary. Yeah, that's what I gather. But it's already put a bad taste in everyone's mouth due to being forced. I think if they run this again, there will be tweaks. But remember, I know there will be. This is as it is for a reason, taking feedback. There will be feedback that they're asking for soon. They're trying to figure out how they can improve this, because like I said earlier, they're trying to find more ways to spice the up, like the guild battle, like upon a time adding co-op. These are changes that people may like, but they're trying to find ways to improve their game. And you got to tip your hat to that. I can't be mad at it. All right, so fun for a bit, but going to get old fighting the same kind of player. Yeah, that's fair. I hate it. Okay. I wish it existed when I still played Legends. Okay, I would have watched these fools, but simultaneously been getting washed repeatedly. One of the... That's one of the cooler concepts they've done, but it's get, but it gets back to my criticism with the game. Why is this a phone game? It's not a convenient phone game for me. That's also why it always frustrates me when people are like, oh, why do people like Dokkan? Legends players like, what? It's because, and there's a reason why, and it's not just because it came out first. There's a reason why Dokkan is a more game through and through, month over month for the most part, year over year. Especially because when you consider the Japanese side of things, maybe not the global side, but the Japanese. It's because, like I mentioned earlier with YouTube and how I can't watch content, the demographic is a little different. Dokkan appeals much more to somebody like me or somebody that's working a 9 to 5, has a job. You don't have to sit there and be on your phone freaking grinding and paying attention to it. There's an auto button. You don't actually got to even play the damn game. So you get a sense of enjoyment out of seeing the flashy animations, out of building your team the right way, constructing your characters how you want. That's where it is. It's the same exact value that you get out of a turn-based RPG. It's literally the same thing. Versus Legends, which is more of a live game, you've got to be like, imagine trying to sit on the train, trying to play Legends. It's kind of hectic if you're in a position where you have to take trains. I haven't taken a train in a long time. But imagine trying to do X, Y, Z, just daily living. It's hard to play Legends like that. Whereas Dokkan, I can put my phone in my pocket, never mind the auto button. I can click it once and then just put it away and come back and resume what I'm doing. Legends is not that type of game. And neither is many of the other action RPGs or fighting games on your phone. So, one thing I talked about Star Rail earlier, is I don't even play my game on my phone. I play it on the PC or my PlayStation. Because, to me, those types of games are best there. And so I like that. If Legends had, and actually, by the way, they do kind of have a way to play it on PC that's supported, not like some weird gimmicky way, but they do have the Google Play games where they have, where they're on that app store for the Google Play games for people. They have a PC. So you can do it. I guess you just map buttons. I'm not. But yeah, if you wanted to play Legends that way, it would be better. But yeah, that's something. It's not a gripe with Legends. It's just the different types of appeal. If you're somebody that doesn't mind that, though, obviously Legends is going to feel much more to you. Or if you're a younger player, you don't have these same commitments somebody else would that's older, you know, where you can't be on your phone like that. And by the way, maybe you don't even want to be on your phone like for me personally, I have Legends on my tablet. I don't even I don't take Legends with me. It's on my tablet. So I play at home, I play when I'm recording, and I'm cool. I've got my dose of Legends, right? So, you know, it is what it is. But I don't really know. Those types of games for me personally, I don't like locking up my phone for 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes and being unresponsive to everything around me. It doesn't sound feasible. Anyway, but yeah, he's saying that if it was not a PC, well, check it out on Google Play Games. But he's saying, yeah, if it wasn't a phone game, it would make much more sense. Gaming Tutorial says, I want to wait a bit more. A lot of people still run teams that don't have full coverage, which I think is the main appeal of the mode, but I had a couple of great fights. My problem is that for a couple times now, I lost the first match, and he just left afterwards. They need to have both modes available of some kind. You can't leave, though. Are they just, force quitting the app? Yeah, that's what I'm saying here. Yeah, okay, that's what they're doing. Okay, the response here is that they're just leaving after then closing the app. That's kind of scum. I get it, but not giving the player that lost the chance to get a clap back is also why they don't let the winner leave. I get it, but yeah, if you just close the app, I guess they recommend it that way. What is the breakdown then? That in terms of RP, do you gain, do you lose, do you just draw? What happens? It's kind of crappy, but I understand. For all the reasons I've talked about throughout this video, I understand. Haven't been able to play, even when I boot up the game, it errors. Yeah, I've saw people saying they had errors, a lot of errors, whether it's their phone or their internet, I'm not. I really like the 6 units being used in combat, but I don't like how it kind of forces you to run 18 good equipments instead of 9. That's another thing too, I meant to mention earlier. You are forced. You're gonna run 6 characters. If you're gonna do that anyway, let's you do the 4 and 2 thing. If you're gonna run 6 characters, you have to have 6, which may or may not be something you have. Do not be shy about using S's or Z's or Z pluses. Don't fall into the trap of thinking everything needs to be godly. you will still beat the players that have all godlies. Good enough. Like, you don't fall into that. But yeah, if you don't have good equips at all for the other characters, maybe you just started, you re-rolled or whatever, it's not hard to get equips. I will say that, but you are forced to do it. You guys see that beautiful Deadpool over there, by the way. Reminder, scan that QR. Another issue I feel is I feel like this shouldn't have replaced normal PvP. This should have been something they're trying with a separate mode. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Don't play anymore, but seems fun just from watching it. Don't think it should have replaced PvP, which I heard they did. Even though it's just testing. Brought a new OST banger. Legends music hasn't popping up. Legends music has been really good. Really good. It doesn't get enough praise. Dokkan is known as the OST game, so people only ever really care about their music. But I love the OST banger for this. It's really good. Very fun, although it's not free to play. See, like I just said, I can see both sides of the coin, because as a free to play, you're forced now to use a full team of 6 with all those equips, all that stuff. But if you got that stuff as a free to play, you can make the argument that it's easier for you to beat that way, especially if you got an actual good team, right? I don't think it should have been. Everyone's saying that they do think it should have been its own separate game mode. That's fair. It's funny when you fight people who choose to heavy boost a character like Red Beast, but refuse to put equips on the rest of the characters they normally would use. Yeah, I guess they're confident, but they're also doing the thing where they're most likely just trying to win 1-3. Love this PvP mode. The rematch immediately after feels nice. Character showcase will change into character showcases with emphasis on what's good and with what and covering weakness in the meta. I assume, nah, character showcases are kind of screwed by this, because all of a sudden you can't sit there. It takes twice as long to do a character showcase now, and you may or may not be able to use the same characters if you have to go to round. You literally can't use your showcase character for. So character showcases are. So it's gonna be hard. This feels more skill intensive. I think it is, because you have to have a wider coverage. I hope the formatting stays, even if it's best 2 of 3 or doesn't. Seeing my opponent's equips icons is beneficial. Yeah, that screen is okay. I don't really mind the screen. Nice to see the equips, because it's gotten hectic, because the reason why it's important to see the equips on the opponent is because now they're putting these passives on these equips, right? And so if in the system where you can't see the equips they have, you're forced to just assume they've got the best possible gear at all times, and that may not be the case. Like Gogeta Super Saiyan 4, I'd assume you got that bad boy on there, that equip on there, but maybe you don't. And if you do got it, maybe you don't got a red slot. And this is why it's important to see. And as they print more and more and more unique equips that are doing that, characters are not what we expect them to be. There's a gap there. We don't know what the character is, especially if they have a broken one. They just happen to be running Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, but somehow don't have their equips. That's good info to know, because all of a sudden I know I won't get blown into smithereens, right? So, but again, why would you do that? But that's a hypothetical that I'm sure happens a lot in lower ranks, right? Caused me a big error and I'm locked out of PvP. Can't go on without getting sent to the title screen. Yeah, I saw a lot of people having issues. Totally, it's good and I don't have a problem with it, but what I can't understand is why after we got this, they removed the main PvP. Why we didn't get both and everything would be fine. There's always a way for them to break a new update. Unfortunately, yeah, like I said, there's some sort of logistical reason, either in the game physically itself or with the resources. You notice they didn't want to really spike resources too much. I think it's mostly the same rewards, isn't it? Because they're very cognizant of trying to like put more stuff in the economy for the game. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just giving you. When you say I don't understand why, I'm telling you why. Multiple reasons why it most is. But I think at the end of the day, most of that stuff kind of matters. But I think the most important thing is they didn't want two PvP-based ranking events running, and while also sprinkling in Legend Battle Royale stuff. I think they probably just looked at it and were like, it's too. And then you also have Treasure Battle there too. Any battle, like they're just looking at it like, it's just. It's a good mode, but not as a replacement for the main. They should leave this mode as LBR. I think so, because you need a team entirely of playable characters in the match. Long edit was for, but alright, buddy. Part of me feels like GT was done dirty again, though. If you didn't pull the majority of the new releases for GT, how good of a team can you really make with just 2 new characters, with the rest of the bench being almost ancient? If you wanted to run GT here, you have to use 5 new, 5, 2 LFs, their banner unit, and the Bulla. Oh, look, there's more. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of EX Trunk. But they also gave equips to those Super Saiyan 4s. Gogeta got a Zenkai recently. I mean, there's stuff there. But if you don't have 17 or Goku, you might as well not run that. Even if you have the rest of the stuff, you might as well not run it. I've had fun with it so far. It's nice using more characters than just the most recent releases. Just the other day, I was thinking we have hit the point of Legends where you're almost better off to re-roll for major banners instead of saving or spending, but this seems to change that. Yeah, that's fair. This, like, this is why I said earlier, like, unless you, like, re-rolled or whatever, you should be fine with this mode, but I can understand why it's a problem. I finally get the sensation of a fight to the very end, a true fight for pride that I desperately needed. Oh, okay. You see how it's a mixed bag, though? Sorry if anybody didn't get in time. I feel like if I refresh this, there's maybe one more, maybe? We'll see. But do you see what I mean, though? Like, it's like a mixed bag. For most people, there's this exact same, cool, I got everybody. Where most people are like, I don't like this, but then there's sprinkled in there some people that like it. And then there's people that like it, if I recall correctly, but just don't like that they changed the mode. And that was the one consistent gripe that I saw in this, was the change to not having regular PvP. Because what that does is, it forces you to play this mode if you want to play PvP. And like we talked about earlier, well, again, there's Treasure Battle. I gotta throw that caveat for what that's worth. But if you want to just play really quickly and get a quick game in or something like that, you got that itch, that urge, whatever. Maybe you need to do it for a mission reward, whatever the case is. When you sign up for a match in this new PvP Rating Match Proud system on Dragon Ball Legends, you are signing up for a 15-minute or so commitment.